A musical journey across continents is coming to Rochester. Renowned classical guitarist and Eastman School of Music professor Nicholas Goluses has just released his 10th album, Across the Horizon.
This morning, we're learning more about the record and an upcoming album release concert happening next week. For more, we're joined now by classical guitarist Nicholas Goluses. Thank you so much for coming in this morning. We appreciate it.
That's my pleasure to be here.
So talk to us. This is the 10th album. That is a lot of work, my friend.
I've been at this for a long time, so it doesn't feel like it's been too intense for me. But a classical musician usually has a triple career. It involves recording and performing and teaching. And they all really feed into one another. So my recording informs my performances. My performances help me with teaching students. I have some fantastic young students that I'm happy to train, and they're becoming great artists in their own right and professors all over the place. So my teaching's been a real joy for me. It's kind of the honor of my professional life. But recording and performing is what I do.
That is excellent. And I imagine that seeing all of these young musicians that you teach, does it kind of inspire you when you write your music?
The thing is, I teach them, and then they go out into the world, and they have their careers. And I see them sometimes years later, either as at the colleges where they teach or in concert. And I see the seeds that I planted, but they've grown. And that's extremely gratifying for any teacher to see that it worked, and that they nurtured the information that they got here at Eastman.
Take us back. When did you first pick up a guitar? When did you realize that this was a love and a passion and what you wanted to do?
All right, so I'll tell this story. It's an unexpected story. When I was a boy, and this was around early 1960s, the Beatles had showed up on the Ed Sullivan Show. And I thought, this was great. So I badgered my family for an electric guitar. I got an electric guitar, had a little rock band. We played in all the school dances and everything else. It was great. And then one day, a few years later, there wasn't any music in my house particularly, but one day, a few years later, the great Spanish virtuoso Andres Segovia was on the Ed Sullivan Show. And I saw that. And I don't know why I thought it was the most beautiful thing I had ever heard, but it was the most beautiful thing I had ever heard. And I remember saying to my father, "What's this?" And he said, "Well, that's a real musician." So the gauntlet had been thrown down. I switched over to classical guitar and never looked back.
Wow, that is a fantastic story. You know, I want to talk about the new album before we run low on time here. Tell us a little bit about it, Across the Horizon.
Yes. Yeah, horizons are becoming big for me right now as I'm getting up in years. I'm looking ahead. We've all come through a very difficult time with COVID. I keep a little sailboat up on Lake Ontario, and so I'm always looking out at the horizon. But this record is made up of pieces of music from across the world. A couple from South America, great tango master Piazzolla, and the towering giant of Brazilian music, Villa-Lobos. Modern music by Stephen Goss, who's an English composer who wrote a great concerto for guitar and wind ensemble. I did it with the Eastman Wind Ensemble, and that's on there. A piece that I brought back from Australia by Philip Houghton. I met him in Melbourne, and I'm Greek. And so there are more Greeks in Melbourne than anywhere else in the world outside of the country of Greece. It was just an incredible thing. Anyway, I met him there, and he wrote this piece based on Greek mythology, and that's there. Ends with a little piece called Home by Andrew York, a California composer, because any great journey, you come back home.
You certainly do. Well, we look forward to hearing the entire album. You don't have to wait long, though, because on the other side of the break, we are going to have a live special performance right here in studio.
Yeah, thank you very much. Don't go anywhere. We're back after the break.
You didn't like that she was being bossy.
back now with guitarist Goluses, who has just released his 10th album, Across the Horizon, and is getting ready to celebrate with an upcoming album release party next week.
Yeah, but before that happens, we're thrilled to be getting a live in-studio performance this morning. Thanks again for being here. We appreciate it. Great conversation just moments ago, but now we're going to actually get to hear you play, yes?
Yes.
Tell us what you're going to be playing.
This is the first prelude by Brazilian composer Heitor Villa-Lobos.
Terrific. Take it away.